Good morning, Reds. It is Monday on this day recording, and how are you feeling? The 2 days after, of course, we're gonna hear talk about the press. We got a lot of things to talk about. We're gonna talk about the team, the performance, and of course, that's been brewing off as usual when we lose a game. Is certain tweets coming out to say that Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Dave Brailsford are expecting to begin work as earlier as today. As early as today, people. And let that sink in as well, because Roy Keane has also been calling out certain players. Who is he calling out? We're going to talk about that. Ten Hag, is he gone by Christmas if he doesn't win at Anfield? We have a run of fixtures looking very, very difficult. We're talking about Chelsea, Villa, Bayern at home, and Anfield, Liverpool on the 17th of December. Guys, take a sip on your coffee. We'll be back in 10 seconds. Good morning, people. It is morning for some of you. 8:30 UK time. Rise and shine, stretch your legs, stretch your arm, let that blood flow go through your veins, and tell me in the chat how you feeling 2 days after. I did a rant the day after as well. I did a post-match review, and I was fuming. I was angry, and usually I never let my fear and emotions clog my judgment, but the day after, I slept on it, I thought about it, and I still felt the same. I still felt that Ten Hag, you got this one wrong, and fairly sorry. Like Paper Talk has been giving a lot of stick as well. Rashford's been getting a lot of stick. Rashford's been a lot of stick. I mean, Martial, there's so many question marks here. And of course, we're talking about Sir Jim Ratcliffe and the transfer saga that never seems to come to an end. All happy endings comes to an end. And what a better way to start this morning to have some guests here and talk, because I think we're the only channel that actually have guests. And Mark, welcome.
Good morning,
good morning,
everyone.
Good morning. How you doing? How you doing?
I'm all right. It's a tough one. The weekend is always terrible after a United loss. You can't enjoy it. There's always something missing. There's always some sense of frustration or upset. And United fans have all rights to be upset. That performance on Saturday was left
not acceptable.
Unacceptable, disgraceful display by the players. The manager got some things wrong, but we can't blame him alone. The players did not show up. I went on to say on Wednesday how the players didn't drop their heads. After conceding 3 goals, they still looked for the win. Where was that on Saturday? There was nothing. It was like a flat performance, like a bad Coke you buy in the store.
I think it's better off to just ease off the steam, just get that negativity out, just brush it off our shoulders. And I agree with Mikel Arteta is saying regarding this.
It's embarrassing. It's a disgrace. That's what it is. A disgrace.
It was a disgrace, Mark, to be honest. All the match going fans that were traveling there, it was -4 degrees, sitting watching that performance. We were sitting here. There was no fight. There was no style of play. We got outclassed, outthought, outsmarted, and we didn't come to alive until 85 minutes. Or the first corner came at 82nd minute. First corner, we had one shot on target. The lineup was totally, I don't know if I can swear, but it was totally out of whack, to be honest. We've been sitting here doing the predicted lineups week in and week out, and we couldn't understand why are you going to St. James's Park knowing their midfield with Joe Linton, with Bruno Guimaraes and the young Miley, to actually start a youngster that has a second start in the Premier League. It's been injured, and on top of that, you have Bruno and invisible Scott hide and seek. We got totally overrun in the midfield. Totally overrun. And then on the other hand, Roy Keane came out and criticized 2 players that's been in the club for ages, 9 years, 10 years. That's not really doing anything. These players has shown the door to all these managers. Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, they throw him under the bus. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Ragnick, and we saw the same body language from this performance on the pitch. We're talking about Anthony Martial, and we're talking about Marcus Rashford as well. When Marcus Rashford got subbed up, which he should have been done, Mark, in the first half already, I argue to the point that 45 minutes of watching that performance and body language was enough for the manager to sub him off straight away. Red card. He threw his gloves on the ground, came to the bench, and said, lip reading, "What the F am I doing out here? What am I doing here?"
I don't know, bro. Like,
I don't know. I mean,
it's a weird one. Like, I don't
I say that,
understand
you
it.
know, I argue to say that Rashford loves himself. Rashford loves this club, but he doesn't love this team. He doesn't love this manager, and he doesn't love the position that he's playing. He's been losing his position as a left winger to Garnacho, fair and square, right? And then he got shoehorned into the right, where you actually taking spots over people that are in form. We're talking about Antony dos Santos. We're talking about Pelistri, you know, and even now Amad Diallo is coming back into the range as well. So at the end of the day, man, I'm questioning as well. Like, you know, you disciplined Jadon Sancho for not working too hard, but you're giving a free pass for Rashford. It doesn't make sense, Mark, right? So I've been having this debate, and I've been, you know, talking to fans, and some people say that it's in stipulation in his new contract that he cannot be dropped. He has to be played. They're paying him $350 a week. I mean, talk to him out, because I've been watching the game over and over again, and there's so many moments where he's get spun on his ass, and it's just basically even walking or jogging or not doing anything, just watching it, the play go on. I was furious. And I was saying afterwards, get out of my club. What's your thoughts and feelings regarding this?
Well, I was doing the watch along with Poppy Mick, and you know, I was saying at the halftime, Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial, Scott McTominay, it's that
Time to
time,
go.
you know, it's that time. It's not the time that they get a second chance again. They've sacked enough managers. They've been here long enough. They've run their race. You know, let's just say it like that. You know,
I mean,
sometimes
yeah, go on.
it,
Sorry.
it's just one of those things. You know, we want the best for them. We hope they can achieve the best, but they're just not happy here. They're just not.
No.
It's not working out for them anymore. You know, when are we gonna cut the umbilical cord and set these guys free?
Yeah.
Let them go do what they want to do, and let's get players who want to come in and do what our manager wants them to do. You know,
I mean, I would suggest that do what Sir Alex used to do: cut the ties. Like, you know, sing Andrea Bocelli and Sarah, whatever her name. Time to say goodbye. You know what I mean? Sayonara, right? You're on the pump of your career. You haven't done much of care. You scored not even scored 100 goals like in the Premier League so far. Like, you know, it's not working out, right? It's not working out. We need to sort of, according to my opinion, we need a total remake. A total remake. I get that people have been Ten Hag out. I get that. But at the end of the day, I was given Ten Hag until this game on Newcastle, and that was barring on his team selection. And I told everyone, if he starts Rashford on the right wing, that is something fishy there in his contract that he has to play, because his body language was not there. And it didn't make sense that Martial started. Like, you know, he looked like he was on a snail's funeral, to be honest. And what baffles me is that Newcastle didn't even have substitutions to make, because they down to the bare bones of injuries. They've been playing the same team for 3-4 consecutive games without any rotation. And we has been saying, wait until all this injured players comes back. Well, hang on a second. You had a really good bench, but what pisses me off and what made me to think I'm Ten Hag Doubt, because why are you always starting your weakest team when you should actually start your strongest team? Why do you always, in the 85 minutes, put a team out that is the best 11?
I don't know, man. And my biggest question is, why was Amrabat not starting in front of Scott McTominay?
Yeah.
You know what
I mean,
That's my
Amrabat
biggest
was
question.
Ten Hag signing. Amrabat was begging for him. You know, he was begging for Amrabat. Why is he not starting? Big
I
question.
don't know, Mick. It's confusing. Like I'm one of those, just like you. You know, Ten Hag, give him time. Ten Hag needs time. You know, you're gonna see performances. Look at midweek. You know, we didn't get the result, but the performance looked like the guys were giving energy. The effort
Yeah.
levels looked like they were there. There was no effort on Saturday. And what excuse do we have? You know, like I'm trying to figure it out because I'm thinking, sure,
There
we
is no
could go ahead
excuse.
there and
There
blame
is no
Eric Ten
excuse,
Hag.
Mark. There is no
We could
excuse.
blame the manager. We could say he set it up wrong. But
There's no
what else
excuse.
is
The only thing is what I see. They wanted to win. When you watch players, they wanted. We were there hoping to win. Hoping to win.
exactly?
So, did you go set up to be defensive? In that way, it didn't work. That's not Manchester United. Another point, too, is what I am very, very deeply disappointed. I wanted Ten Hag because the style of play that he did with Ajax, the coaching, the tracksuit manager. But when he comes out to say words like, I'm not here to play that way, I'm here to play the Manchester United way. What is it? So that gives me that, yes, he's not in full control, what some media has been reporting. He doesn't have control. And I'm thinking, who is his bosses above? You're talking about Darren Fletcher there, right? The chewing gum Darren Fletcher. We saw when Ragnick was coaching, Darren Fletcher was there as a technical director, whispering in his ears. Is he even telling, like, who Ten Hag is going to pick? Or, is there stipulations in certain players' contract that you have to start them? You have to start them, and you don't have any control as a manager. If that was the case, Mark, I would walk away as manager, to be honest. If I cannot assemble the team that I want to play, that somebody else is telling me about, you have to play this person no matter what. Then I will say, I'm out of here. Bye.
I think that's what he should do because it's going past the point, Mick. It's Rashford. I try to defend the guy, bro. Like, he's a Manchester United lad, academy graduate, but maybe we should have sold him in the summer and kept Mason Greenwood. I'm being honest, bro. People don't want to talk about Voldemort.
No, there's some reports saying that Greenwood might come back in January. I'm reading the latest report here as well. And fair and square, we need firepower. But the thing is, what I want to bring to the table in this morning discussion, maybe it's a little bit too heavy, but why are we not allowed to criticize certain players like Rashford, like the homegrown talent? It's been a little bit of a taboo. They're protected in the media. But, after the weekend, I saw, various pundits criticizing our talent like that, to be honest. Roy Keane was calling out Rashford, was calling out Martial, everyone's been calling out because it's not good enough. Ain't matter if you're playing for England, ain't matter what charity you does off the field. It's what you do with the Manchester United shirt. And that
100%.
performance, Mark, was the pivotal moment for me to say, get out of my club. I saw numerous of clips where, especially I remember one moment when he got spun on his ass I think it was on the left-hand flank. I think it was, what was his name? Oh, Jesus Christ. I forgot. Who was in the midfield there? Joe Linton, yeah.
Joe Linton.
He fell down on his ass. Joe Linton kept running towards a 6-yard box. Rashford just got up and stood there watching. He didn't even move. He just got up and watched. Right. So I don't know what's wrong with him. I certainly, we've been saying this for months and months and months. Put him on the bench. I don't care what your name is, but if you're not playing for the team, if you're not playing for the badge, sit out or get out. Simple as that.
100%.
That's my rant this morning.
Mick.
Anyway, guys, let me know in the comment section what you think. It's been an opening statement. It's been venting out the frustration. We got away with murder. We can have gotten down 4-0 at least. But we got away with 1-0-1 at the end of the day. Could have been more. To be honest. Now it's worrying time because we're playing Chelsea. And apparently Chelsea's got a red-carded person in terms of Gallagher, the star midfielder as well. Guys, let me know in the comment section below who is in the house. Good morning to you. Let us know. Say a good morning to us as well. Mark, who's in here? Carlos, Liverpool will smash us if we play like that. Unfortunately, then I think Ten Hag will be sacked. He's well away. But that's not a point. Yeah, that's a historical point because if you look at 17 December, this is where Ole Gunnar Solskjaer went there and got sacked as well. On the other hand, Liverpool played yesterday and had a draw. No, they had a win. Fulham gave them a Fulham job. But again, Mark, this is something that always crosses my mind. Scousers always come back strong at the very, very end. That's just the way it is. They fight for each other. Never say die. It's looked like they took our mentality, never say die mentality.
It feels like it because we used to have that mentality. I remember watching games, and in the last 10 minutes, even if United was down as a fan, you know that's when we're most dangerous. You know,
Yeah.
the last 10 minutes, we're going to go all out, guns blazing. We're going to get something, Fergie time. Now it's not that. It's we hope to see the fight in the players every game. You know what I mean? And it's something that I really can't understand. I can't
Yeah.
understand what does the attitude, where the effort levels, what is going on with these players? Are we paying them too much money? Are they too comfortable?
Dude, we are paying them too much money. I mean, if you are getting paid 350K a week, you sign a new contract for 5 years. You've seen so many managers out the door, but one thing will never leave, and that's the player, because that's the asset. You know what I mean? They rather get rid of the manager and keep the asset, because that asset is worth 5 years of contract. That's loss of money. Manager, you can just pay out, get a new one. But at the end of the day, why the hell did you give a new contract on 350K a week? Because in their mind, if you're getting paid that much money, you don't care. You just rock up to training, do your bare minimum, do whatever you want, just impress the manager to get picked for match day, and you still get paid. You still get your weekly wages. And that's the thing, right? And this is the problem and root cause analysis with the club at the moment. You don't see that Liverpool having these high wages. You don't see City having these high wages. They perform for each other, right? You saw Manchester City yesterday. Oh my God. You saw Tottenham yesterday as well. They don't have any high wages players, but they do fight for each other. I believe that high wages, it creates a huge gap. If I'm playing in the same team like you, Mark, and I'm playing, I can get paid 350, you get paid 75K a week. You're going to look at me and say, well, hang on, he's been playing shit and he's basically not putting much effort into training. Why should I?
100%.
He's getting paid more than me. And this is the problem, Mark, I think. Anyway, guys, VR, good morning to you, wherever you're tuning in. It is 9:48 Central European time, 8:48 UK time, and what is it? Central Asia time. It is 15:48 in Thailand, where I'm sitting as well. Good morning, guys. Have you stretched your leg? Are you had your coffee yet? Because let's bring this to the stage as well, because it's obvious as soon as it goes bad for Manchester United, there's always something that comes out there to sort of get you to think the other way. And of course, we're talking about the tweets that come out from Disco Mirror. And they've been saying Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Dave Brailsford are expected to begin work at United tomorrow. That was actually a tweet from yesterday, but today is tomorrow, Mark. Today is tomorrow. And for me, I don't know. I find it a little bit laughable to be honest, my friend. Because at the end of the day, Mark, we all know that there is new stock exchange. There needs to be a certain announcement. There needs to be a certain priorities. And don't treat a fan base like we are stupid, to be honest, right? They go on and say exclusive that Sir Jim Ratcliffe pushing for an imminent start date at Manchester United, handed a lifeline. This is the lifeline after the loss. Mark, talk to me. What do you get out of this article? Is it just paper talk, or is it just the same old, the same old?
Well, it looks like they're just recycling information, like they come in with the hot points, the buzzwords. Sir Jim expected tomorrow. He expected to start work immediately. Where's the reports? Where's the confirmation? Where's the official statements that says, the New York Stock Exchange, the Premier League has approved the sale. The board has agreed. Everything is signed. There's no official documents. It's just a lot of speculative talk that is just like basically a recycled ad promo. Like, they try to sell you, some new drink that's on the market for Christmas.
Yeah, but it goes even further. I mean, it goes even to say that, Ratcliffe and Brailsford will try to bring Sancho back and all this stuff. You know what I mean? they try to optimize, improve everything, make men's mean between manager and Ten Hag, and if they come in, they might sack him and stuff like that. It is just paper talk for me. I mean, if you look at it from a logical business sense, it does not make sense. I mean, and we've been telling you, we're quite balanced on this channel, and we've been keeping our powder dry, and we've been trying to educate people that this doesn't work like this. I mean, paper talk news, the gravy train, they treat this like a transfer window, imminent, done deal. In personal terms, not a problem. It's going to happen on Monday. It's not going to happen Monday. It's going to happen next week. It's going to happen in Christmas. It's going to happen New Year. It ain't going to happen if they continue like this. Nobody really knows, but they're definitely milking this to the max. And I just feel sorry for the United faithfuls like around the world that reading this at the end of the day, and just use your logic, sense, and reasoning, and whatever you believe it's your truth. We are not here to create the news. We're just here to analyze the news and report on it, Mark. And I say this is a lot of BS, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm like, you see, they're giving out some information, but they're not giving you definitive information. It's always, he's imminent, but the headline would say tomorrow. Then they would say he's imminent. The headline would change maybe Wednesday to say Friday. So I feel like they need to stop using United to sell clicks. I understand that it's Christmas. They need to get the gifts and stuff.
That's a
waste
keyword.
of time. It's a waste
Sorry,
of time. No worries. It's a waste of time for United fans.
Mark, you use the keyword there, right now, people using Manchester United's name for clicks, because that's what it is. That is the keyword what we've been looking for. That's what it is, because you look at these reporters, some of them are not even United fans, but they love to use United for clicks. And yeah, we've seen it all before. We've seen it all. We won the lot. But Sir Jim Ratcliffe is pushing for imminent, and then goes says what Sir Jim Ratcliffe going to do, who's going to recruit, and wait a minute. And I keep saying, well, the guy hasn't even been announced. The guy hasn't even got legally the contract. The guy hasn't even got the keys to the kingdom. And how can he sack certain people? And how can he recruit certain people? It's illegal. It's not even legally possible, to be honest. So, and that you just have to apply that logic and sense to it and just call it out for what it is, And at the end of the day, I just love this one. What I saw the other day, Mark, as well, that they put the welcome to Manchester with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and it didn't take long until it was vandalized. So that tells you pretty much what the Manchester fans thinks about this deal. They don't want it. The Mancunians don't want it.
No, we don't. The international fan base, I'm pretty sure I speak for all of them when I say we don't want him either. So he's not wanted from all sides. It's just a matter of personality thing, in my opinion. I think the fans now, they have an idea of what the club needs. They educate themselves, they consume lots of football. I think we have to give the fans credit now. They all have an idea of what type of football they want. They've seen United for years. They're big fans, and the grandeur of this 25% would make you feel as if it's a full sale. You know what I mean? You would think that he's buying the Glazers out and they're leaving, but they're not.
It's a divide and conquer thing. They want you to think that it's okay to have the Glazers on still. Look this way while we continue robbing you that way. Yeah, we make you giddy, just putting prints out in the media that you will get a sporting director, we will do X, Y, and Z, but at the same time you keep forgetting who's still in the driving seat. It's the Glazers. And that's equally to do like this mini-me does. You might as well just put pots and pans and keep banging on your head, because nothing will be changing unless there's a roadmap for full sale. Unless we don't know. I certainly, personally, Mark, I don't believe we've seen the end of this crescendo. I believe there's going to be some twists and turns in this story, and there's silence. There's a lot of speculative news, as we say, they're using United for clicks. You know, if there's NDAs in place, where is this coming from? Who's benefiting? Guys, I'm just putting it out there. Like, you know, whatever you believe, you believe. I don't believe in this story. I don't see it from a business perspective to make any sense. I've done all these calculations. Nah, I'm speaking from a finance perspective, and I smell a rat here. That's just my belief. Anyway, what else do we have to talk about? Big up to you that's tuning in here. Are you awake? Let's have a sip on my espresso, my mate. Okay, so what else are we talking about in the ether here? We are talking about, we drew Wigan, by the way.
In the
FA Cup. FA Cup.
Tough
Wigan.
one, you know. Wigan Athletic.
You reckon it's tough?
Those are tough times in the olden days, you know what I mean? In the 90s, when you face a Wigan team, it's like going to face one of those tough dark horse teams that could just sting you in the end. You know, it's like it's going to be an exciting one for the fans. I hope that we beat them and qualify as a United fan, you know. But the team isn't performing too well right now, and we need to get some hardworking players in this team.
Yeah, but at the end of the body, this is a perfect time to actually play by under, play the youth, you know, get a little bit of excitement in there. To be honest, like, you know, to do a little bit of rotation, because we you know, okay, do we want to win this FA Cup? I want to win this because we fell out of Carabao Cup, you know.
100%. Like, you know, we have the FA Cup left. We're scraping by in the Champions League, about to be dumped out. You know, it's just FA Cup and Premier League, and maybe that might be the end for our season. But at the same time, we could still do it big. We could still win the FA Cup. We could try. You know, we could still try to make sure we get into top 4. I mean, it was a abysmal start to our season, and I mean, I could understand other fans when they're like, okay, this is not what we expected. This is not what we want. But at the same time, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's not always going to be that progression with the next step. Sometimes it's going to get worse before it gets better. And it seems to me like this is one of those times.
Okay, another confirmation news that came out as well, and it was confirmed by Mr. Here we go, Fabrizio Romano. There was some rumors and speculations that no other than Antony dos Santos were linked to go in January on a loan outside Manchester. It's been confirmed Manchester United is not expecting to offload Antony, according to Fabrizio Romano as well. We're playing Wednesday, Mark. We're playing Chelsea at home. It's going to be very interesting, because Chelsea, to me, seems to like they are on a trajectory, on a form up. And on the other hand, Chelsea got suspended for a man suspended, and there's no other than Gallagher got suspended over the clash. He's got a red card.
Yeah,
what do we expect?
Yeah, the talisman in the middle is suspended. I mean, Chelsea has been making some surprising performances. They've been showing grit, fight, energy, effort levels, everything we would like to see from our United team. We're seeing from this Chelsea squad for the last few weeks. You know, they drew 4-4 with Man City. They won yesterday. You know, they've been working hard, and that's all I could say about Chelsea. They've just been working hard. You know what I mean? And that's what you want. You know, that's what you want.
And that's what we want from the team. I mean, it is like you see some players in the squad working for the team. They're working, but when you have 4 or 5 players they're not working, then of course everyone's gonna down tool. Like, you know, you got to get them players out. Like, you know, and I've been saying, I just don't understand every manager that had Scott McTominay put him on the pitch and never takes him off. Everyone that's been playing good gets subbed up except Scott McTominay. I mean, has he signed a contract with the devil here? Is this some super contract to say you cannot sub me as soon as you put me on that field? You know, I'm going to play like, you know, the bishop in chess. Can only go sideways and I will knock you down every way on the road of the way. It just doesn't make sense. Make it make sense, to be honest, right? Another news as well that Juventus is now considering for a move for our Donny van de Beek in January.
Yeah, there are 4 clubs in Europe right now searching for Donny van de Beek's signature. Atalanta is one of them. Genoa is one of them. You just mentioned Juventus. You know, there's a 4th club that's in the race. They haven't mentioned actually the name of the club, but They said 4 clubs, all of them from Italy, are interested in Donny van der Beek. We know before Real Sociedad was interested in him. You know what I mean? We know also that Fenerbahce and Galatasaray were interested in him. I think it's that time. You know, it's a tough situation for Donny. It didn't work out for him. It didn't work out for us. He's not a terrible player. It just might be one of those things where, you know, it just didn't go your way. You have to go somewhere else and make your way now. And that's what it's going to be for Donny. And I
Is
think
it loan or is it permanent? I mean, I've been
it
reading
should be
loans.
it should be a cutting of ties completely. Where you would see Donny van der Beek move on for a full sale. You know, I think
Yeah.
there's been a shift for some reason in the Manchester United way of doing things.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's been a lot of talk about a Sancho loan, but there's been some talk that United will not open to any loans for Jadon Sancho unless they are loans with a buy option clause guaranteed or a full sale of the player only.
But this is a severe punishment that nobody really knows. There must be something really, really huge for this situation. That's the logical way that I see it. Like if they, I'm not even surprised if they just totally freeze him out to the summer and sell him in the summer, right? Because they're not going to loan him out. They're not going to do. They want to cash in for this asset. But if the player is not even getting close to the training ground or being close to the kids, then he must be done something really awful that it's not being reported. You know, if you come to the HR department, they will put you on a garden leave for, I don't know, misconduct, or, you know, if you rock up drunk to work, or substance abuse and stuff like that. Like, you're a bad influence. But at the end of the day, they cannot sack him. So, I mean, this is the only logical explanation that I see it, to be honest, mate. What else is on my mind today, this morning, Mark, as well? Yeah, I mean, we're playing Chelsea, of course. Are we feeling comfortable on Wednesday at home, or what can we expect? I mean, do we expect Ten Hag to actually listen to the critics? Because Harry Maguire has also come out to defend Rashford, and, you know, makes sense because Harry was also under, you know, I'm done with this Stockholm syndrome, mate. I'm done with this Stockholm syndrome. You know what Stockholm syndrome is? Protect the victim, feel sorry for the victim. I'm done with that. We're able to criticize our players if they are not performing. We love them as the Manchester United. They're wearing the shirt. But if you're not performing, of course, you got to take some criticism.
100%, Mick. And I think, you know, it's about time these players take stock of themselves. They stand in front of a mirror and they look at themselves and they ask questions. You know, where am I? Who am I? What do I want to do? Where do I want to be? What am I doing here? You know, am I making an impact? Am I giving my best? And if not, what are the reasons? Why am I not doing this? You know what I mean? Because it seems to me that it's like we're a club that's a man apart. You know, we want the best, but we don't know how to do our best to get the best. It's weird, and you want to, you know, you want to crash it on these players. You want to be upset. You want to make arguments. There's no defending this. You know what I mean?
I mean,
you know,
I mean, this is like, it took me 2 days, and I'm getting a little bit better. It's like therapy talking about it. You can point at so many fingers, there's so many elements, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. You know, you can only take day by day, game by game. But if we don't get points, because if I look at our fixtures, Chelsea, Villa, Bayern, Liverpool, right? And I'm afraid if we don't get any results, that Ten Hag's head will be on the chopping block. Because at the end of the day, you live by this sword, you die by this sword. You know, some people may argue, well, hang on a second, it's not Ten Hag's fault for losing these games. Yes, it is, because it's your in-game management that will cost you, and it's the team selection that will cost you. The team selection cost Ole Gunnar Solskjaer his job as well. So therefore, it leads to the point that, is somebody whispering in his ears that say you must start these 3 players on the pitch, right? Because that happened under Ragnick, that happened on the Solskjaer, you know. I don't know. So at the end of the day, Mark, we need a total rebuild. We need new ownership. We need a total rebuild of this club. Because if you look at where Newcastle was sitting 2 years ago, almost on the bottom of the league, scraping relegation, see what a new ownership, a new structure, a new operation can do to your club. Newcastle's a living example. So they basically surpassed us. We've been just treading water for 10 years. We're not that club
Yeah,
anymore, Mark.
we've been stuck in quicksand, Mick. You know what I mean?
That's what it
Every
is,
single
quicksand.
time for the last 10 years, we had a problem. We were like, okay, let's sack the manager, bring someone new. You know, the players remain, and now we have this mixed bag of nuts. And I have to say nuts because these players make me feel like they're nutters because they're paid well, they're treated well, and they come in front of a stadium filled with fans who support them week in, week out, with the best supporting fans in the entire Premier League,
Yeah,
and then they play rubbish game after game.
100%. Big up Nick Bell from Australia all the way. Do you fans understand the world time? The word time. Yes, we do, Nick. And rebuild, fight, determination, honor, all these things Ten Hag is trying to do with his players. And I believe, and I always said that, I'm a big advocate for that. But if nothing change above Ten Hag's head, I'm talking about the structure above. Nothing ever is going to change with United. I'm a change management specialist, and this is what I do for professional living. So basically, all the way from the board to the mailroom to the dressing room needs to be aligned with the same vision, with the same message to be successful. We're all steering the boat to the same direction. We're all in it for the same boat. Manchester United for the past, 10 years, 11 years, sir, since David Gill left and Sir Alex left, has been divided, right? It's been run by bankers that don't understand football, and all they care about is making money. So making top four has always been their prerequisite, not winning, just making top four, because top four makes you more money. On the other hand, you appointed different managers with a winning pedigree and with a winning mentality that wants to win. But how can you win if the people above you don't want you to be winning, right? That's the problem. I hope you see it, guys. So big up to you, Nick Bell, as well. Anyway, just going to the comment section below, Milos Micic from Serbia saying Manchester United did play an awful game against Newcastle. Bez Baron. I'm reading this in Serbian, but big up Milos Micic. Good morning. Dobro jutro, Milos. Kako si ti? Speaking. Gas Taylor is here. What you saying? Picking players to play have to throw 3-4 managers under the bus as the biggest mistake. That will be next manager mistakes fall if he. Yeah, I hear what you're saying there, Gas Taylor, mate. Ten Hag needs to wake up and smell the coffee. The proof is in the pudding. Like, you could just backtrack and see, the results, like what happened to the past managers, and you should know the players will throw you under the bus. So this is the time for Ten Hag right now to change the course, right? Don't be like Titanic. Jack, come back. It's too late if you hit the ice rock. So now it's the time to assess, because clearly you're not blind. Clearly you have not activated your Stevie Wonder settings right now. You saw what Rashford could do on the pitch. You applied double standards by banning certain players for not putting effort in, but then on the pitch you had this shocking performance. Get rid of them, put them on the bench, set an example right here, right now, and you will get the fan base on your side and start playing good football. Mark, what do you think?
I think if he becomes ruthless, I think he gets 100% support from the fans. I think the players might be mad, but it's time. It's time. Cut these umbilical cords. I don't want to sound like I'm abusive to the players. I think we should support them, support the manager, but you cannot support this. And some players should know better, especially if you're academy graduate.
I've never been a player FC. I've been supporting Manchester United for 50 years. 50 years. I back the club. I love the club. I'm a Patriot Red, but I cannot support this, what I'm seeing there on the field. The style of play comes from the manager. The tactics comes from the manager. The team selection comes from the manager. But if you keep doing the same thing, it's like definition of sanity. To do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. That has to stop. If he continues this, I'm afraid I will flip over, because right now I'm sitting on the fence being doubtful, right? I love Ten Hag. I love this team, but I can see what this team is capable of doing, right? at the end of the day, we don't pick the team. We don't set up the team to play. That's the thing. Ian McDonald, United is turning into a bipolar. I want Ten Hag to succeed, but I'm struggling to get behind what he's doing. That is exactly what I'm feeling too, Ian. I'm feeling bipolar here. Funny. Good morning to you, Ian, as well. Have you seen record away against the top 19 since 2022? Yes, I have. We haven't won. It's been since 2022. We haven't won from the top flight teams away at all since 2022. 2 years.
And in a way, I understand that, but in a way, I'd like to say to guys, what was Klopp's excuse for that in his second season and his first season? What was Arteta's excuse for that in his second season and his first season?
There is no excuse.
I mean? There's no excuse for those things, but at the same time, it's a rebuild. So, you're going to lose games. You're not going to win some games. They're going to games you're going to win, and then they're going to go away. They might lose. It's a rebuild. He's trying, and this season, if anything else is more apparent, he's trying to
but it's a rebuild. But when you come out to say, I'm not going to play the game that I was recruited for, like we got him for his Ajax style of play, his tactics, his press ain't working. So what is he trying to do now? Is he himself lost his mojo? Is him himself confused in what he's doing right now? Because right now, I don't see what he's doing. I don't see the patterns. I don't see his style of play right now. It's totally gone, right? I see a freestyle game of play, hoofballs right now. Why did we buy Onana? To play from the back when we're not playing from the back, right?
Well, I mean, it's easy to see. If you use logic and you've been a United fan, you know for a fact that these players can't play the Ajax way. Marcus Rashford, he doesn't have this.
But then who's told him that you're not allowed to play your style of play? You got to play the United way. No, he's told in an interview that I'm playing the United way. What is the United way? What was invented by the United way? Was the Busby? Football has moved on. Sir Alex Ferguson has moved on. That was in the 90s, late 2023. We haven't played that football for years, right? So we need to, according to my opinion, Mark, we need to just start a new page. Like, forget about, the past is history, but we are not that team anymore. We need to find our new identity, the new Manchester United way of playing. And I thought, and I still believe that he's the Messiah that can do this. But right now, it feels like his hand is tied behind his back and somebody is telling him who to pick, how to play. It's certainly, and he's been dictated what to say in media as well.
I just want to understand why fans just keep coming in the chat room to talk about the Ajax way, because if you're watching this football team, there's like a bunch of players in this team who cannot play the Ajax way. So to play that way would be suicide. It would be ludicrous. You know what I mean? If the players can't come in and give basic levels of effort, you know what I mean, and intensity, how would they begin to even employ a style of play that needs hard work? They can't.
But we need midfield. Everyone knows that the game is won and lost in the midfield, Mark. How can you then know that Newcastle is not going to change the team? Bruno Guimaraes, such a combative center midfield engine. You have Joe Linton and you have this young Miley, totally overrun us. Fullbacks bombing forward, overlapping, underlapping. I mean, what was your game plan there? Scott McTominay, Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, and basically we were done in the first half. We have 4 players that are not tracking back, and we had one kid to play one single pivot midfield against all this. I mean, that has to come down to the manager's selection. You cannot defend that. I cannot defend that.
In a way, I can't really be mad at that, to be fair, because I put it like this: the manager's style is he wants to play a single pivot. Kobe Mainoo has shown he's capable of holding the role down. Now, it's going to have teething problems, and when I say that, this is Kobe's second game. So I could understand.
I'm not defending that. I'm just saying that whatever every pundit's been saying, the same thing what we've been saying. You should have started like Amrabat. It was your purchase. Why are you not playing him?
I'm not saying that though.
You should have played that double pivot with Amrabat and Kobe Mainoo and Bruno Fernandes. So somebody's
I don't agree with that though.
Huh?
I don't agree with that though, because then you tell any manager what system he should play. Because a
Yeah,
lot
but
of the
I'm
media
not
say
saying I am saying that, Mark. I'm saying that
no.
most
You're not
people,
saying that, but the media is saying
most
that
pundit.
because
No, wait a minute. Most pundit and most fan channels has been saying the same thing, right? I'm not disgrunting what he did. What's done is done, yeah. But I'm talking about what he should have seen. So his stubbornness is his stubbornness, right? And the stubbornness costs us the game at the end of the day. What I'm saying, you know that Newcastle is going to line up this way. Why are you not protecting this player? Like, why are you not shielding Kobe Maino? Like, it's too early, right? What was your game plan there? Like, and it clearly didn't work. You had 45 minutes in the first half to see that this is not working. You should have done something like Jose Mourinho would have done. Like every single manager in the second half. This is not work. What made you in your mind that think that I'm gonna go out in the second half and this is gonna work? Because 45 minutes it didn't work. It did not
okay,
work at all.
but that's not the fault of the midfield. I mean,
I'm not
okay, I'll
saying it's
say it
the
like
fault
this,
of the
right?
midfield. I'm just
No,
saying you're not hearing what I'm
yeah,
saying. You're not
I
hearing
hear
what
what
I'm
you're
saying. You're
saying,
not
but
hearing what I'm saying.
what I'm saying is that I disagree with what you're saying in the sense that I don't think we should play a double pivot. That's not what the manager want to do. Kobe Menu is
Okay,
a
that's your
CDM.
opinion. This is not what. This is not.
From
This is your
well,
opinion,
yeah,
my
but
friend. You're not hearing what I'm saying. Again, this is your
I am
opinion.
hearing what you're
I'm
saying. All the
no,
pundits and the
if you
football
let me
channels
talk now,
saying that we should
if you
play a
don't
double
interrupt me,
pivot.
mate, if you don't interrupt me, I will continue saying that. You didn't hear what I'm saying. That most people, most pundit, everyone, Tom, Dick, and Harry, was seeing what we were saying in the match previous and post match. Now you're saying that you don't agree. Now, that's your
Yeah,
opinion. Yeah, but
yeah.
the after.
I'm just saying
No,
I
no.
don't agree
Let me
because
finish. Let me finish. Don't interrupt. The aftermath of this, Mark, is the result on the table, right? The aftermath is this: the point of this argument is that if you continue doing this way, what I said is the definition of insanity, to do the same thing over and over again and expecting different result. That is the thin red line what we're discussing here, Mark. Now,
yeah,
what you
but
agree or agree, that's your opinion. I totally respect.
all right. I was just trying to explain that the reason why I disagreed, but it's just because the problem is not Kobe. The problem is that we have three players in attack that not functioning. If you have three players at the top of the team not functioning, Marcus Rashford not functioning,
I'm not
Martial
trusting
not
that.
functioning, Scott McTominay not functioning, then
Why are you
we
starting them then?
basically playing 8 men with 8 men.
Yeah, but
Now I
again,
don't know why he's starting them. Maybe I don't know, like we saying, maybe there's something in their clauses. Maybe he was trying something different. Maybe the manager was trying to rotate and expecting these players to give the levels the
yeah.
other players give with rotation. They're
But at
not
the end of
getting
the
that.
mark, like it comes down to, yes, I feel you're defending certain players. I did totally get that, but it comes down to the overall discussion of the thread of this. It's the manager's responsibility to pick the right team. It's the manager to do the in-game management, and managers are allowed to be criticized. Same with players, are we allowed to criticize? Yeah, and I can get that. Some people say no, protect player, protect this. I know what you're coming from, but I'm coming from an angle to say, like, I'm done to seeing this football being played, and I'm done to sort of see him fall, because I want him to succeed. I want Ten Hag to succeed. Don't get me wrong, I back him. But if he can continue like this, I'm afraid he's not going to last, because you know how the fan base is anyway.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. It's just that I kind of disagree in the sense that I think he's been rotating different players, but has not been getting the effort levels he's expecting from the different players when he puts them in the
Yeah,
different.
but then you got to
In
throw
the,
back the question, why you're picking the same players again. Right? That is the argument that I'm looking for. Why are you then picking the same players over and over again that not performing on the pitch but showing different things on training? I mean, that doesn't make sense to me, right? And
it don't really.
if you keep going that way, that will be your downfall. We've seen it before. That's what I was talking about for the past 50 minutes. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. The decision, what you make. If you're not willing to adapt and change, if you are stubborn to say this will work, I don't believe that the fans have given the fans, Manchester United fans has zero patience,
Yeah.
and they are already turning on him. And I said myself earlier that I'm in doubt right now. I give him a little bit more time to see, can he adapt? Can he improve? Can he change? Right? Because if I'm afraid if he continues this way, Chelsea, Villa, Bayern, Liverpool,
Yeah,
I'm afraid
well,
that he's going to be gone by Christmas. I
maybe
don't
the
want that.
fans need to come down to the realization that a lot of these players need to leave, and there's nothing a manager could do. And I mean, at the same time, we could sit here and say,
Yes,
play the
the
youth,
manager
but our
cannot
youth
play them.
academy has been
Mark,
rubbish for the last few
Mark,
years.
simple. The manager just doesn't have to play them. Doesn't have to pick them.
Yeah, but
Put them on the
who is he
bench.
going to play? Like people keep saying, play somebody else, play somebody else. Who is the other persons? Who? You know, you could play Amrabat next to Minu. I would like to see it. I'm sure lots of fans would like to see it. But if we think about the manager system, he's not really interested in playing a double pivot. For some reason, he wants to play a single pivot. So, in a way, to say let's play Amrabat is mute because Amrabat not going to offer anything much different than Kobe. So besides experience, because he has a
Okay.
wealth of that. You know what I mean? So it's like, in my opinion, it's like, okay, we want to see a double pivot. He's working with a single pivot. You know, I would less like to see the players who pick in his starting 11
Yeah, but if you're
bring
going to
the
play a
effort
single
levels into the
pivot, play
game.
people that can play next to him, that can protect a little bit more. And that's the thing. Why are you insisting picking Scott McTominay? And that's the thing. When you have Amrabat, you have other midfielders, Dan Gore, you have a lot of youngsters that you can pick for, and they will run the socks off just to have the opportunity to be in that team. So there is an option, you know. But what I'm trying to say is that you don't understand my logic behind it. Is that I'm saying, you die by the sword, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. And the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. We know the story. We've seen it all before. We've seen managers doing the same thing, being stubborn and picking and picking and picking. And unfortunately, it never ends well. The head turns up being on the chopping block. So what I'm trying to say here, to play the devil's advocate, is to say, prove that you can do something different. Don't let your head be on chopping block, right? So if you're going to continue this game, if you're going to continue picking this team, Chelsea, I'm afraid, Villa, I'm afraid, Bayern, I'm afraid, Liverpool, I'm afraid. And that you have to understand, Mark. It's not my opinion. It's just from a 360 degrees.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all opinion, yeah. And I think
It's
that
not my opinion. It's
no,
not
no,
never
no.
been my opinion.
I'm not saying it's your
Yeah, I
opinion
understand.
entirely. It's the opinion are wrong
I'm
because
looking at the situation.
all the pundits are looking at the situation have an opinion. A lot of different fans have different opinions. You know, YouTubers have different opinions. I think, yeah, I disagree with the selection of Scott McTominay. He scored 100%. Like I think Scott McTominay shouldn't even be here. Like it's the same thing for Harry Maguire, Antony Martial, Marcus Rashford. But at the same time, we left in a situation where we have a board that not willing to get rid of players the manager doesn't want in the squad. They're not willing to change the squad. So they're just sitting down there with recycling the same players over and over by having different managers saying they will offer something different. Yeah. So at the same way, the fans need to look at the board, look at the ownership, look at the club and be like, why are you not doing something different for this manager? Because they're not giving him anything different, you know. He's supposed to do what? Just play. I mean, like, I would like to see Dango Jr. You know, I've been watching a lot of the youth, and I think Dango Jr. would provide the best option next to Kobe Minu, in my honest opinion, because of, familiarity and those things.
I hear you. I'm just very conscious about time. We've gone all way over time. Ian McDonald, you're saying something brilliant here. The fans will get behind and this is so true. If you start playing like the under 21s integrated, they will love you. They definitely will love you because that is the Manchester United way. This is the Manchester United that I've been watching for 45 years, to be honest. And yeah, it is just the way it is, my friend. We will see. We will dive deeper into this evening with Jarvis's Caucus Corner. This is just gone a little bit too heavy for a morning show, Mark. But at the end of the day, you have opinion. You're passionate. I get that. I'm trying to be subjective, objective, trying to see it from a 360 angle. Is what I do. I look at the right side of the story, the left side of the story, and at the end of the day, it is you viewers that decide. What you believe as well. But for us, I am Glazers out, full sail only, and I want Manchester United to be successful. That's all I want. Glory,
100%.
glory, Manchester United, guys. If you haven't smashed a like, please do so. And another thing important, because some people have been complaining they're not getting notifications. You have to hit that bell button, notification button, so you never miss when we go live and miss another video episode. Yesterday, I did a little bit a beach vlog. It's going to be something that I will do every day, because I answered the question why I moved to Thailand. The answer is in that video as well. Good morning to you, Mark, and I wish everyone a fantastic continues of your day. Please tune in later for Jarvis Cocker's Corner. This has been Mick Ruby here, Beat the Press, together with Mark Nurse. Any final words before you go off?
Guys, try to stay positive. You know, hopefully that something changes. Hopefully we get to see more under 21s in the squad. You know, like, we want to see change. We want United to be positive. This is not what we should be doing. We have to do better. The players need to do better. If not, they have to get out of here. Ten Hag needs to wake up, drink some proper coffee. Maybe we should send him some Cubano or something from Thailand, you know, to change his vibes. You know, like,
yeah.
You know, guys,
and to summarize,
I hope you all have a great day. Thank you for joining us.
And to summarize, Mark, what we talked about is, you know, the takeover, Jim Ratcliffe. The headline is not possible, because there has to be first and foremost a club statement announcement. It has to also be a report to the New York Stock Exchange. So paper talk. So always stay cool and composed. Always scrutinize the media. Love them, hate them, adore them, but never ignore them. We are Manchester United. Big up, Mark, to you. Have a fantastic day. Cheers.
Big up, VR Room.
Bye. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.